Alright, I'm gonna read you all a poem called A Shannon County Christmas. And I'd like to thank my neighbors for letting me use their living room to film this. They don't know yet, but I thank them anyway. Alright. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through our trailer, Granddad was a-snoring like a New Holland baler. Grandma was stoking a stove with a log and a-blaming her gas smell on Roscoe the dog. The young'uns was stacked up like cordwood in bed. Little Jim had a goose egg upside of his head. His sister had pile-drived him there with her knee after watching the wrestling show on TV. I was in my long johns and my old John Deere cap. Ma was in the bathroom just a-taking her makeup off. She'd been trying to hide the bruises she'd got from a fist fight last week in a church parking lot. Well, she jumped into bed and we clung together like two weasels a-fighting over the last chicken feather. We was both seeing sparks at least for a minute, but just because our electric blanket had a short in it. When out in the yard come a noise that was awesome. I first thought old Roscoe was a-whooping a possum. I run to the window and I pulled the shade up, but in my great hurry I kicked over Ma's spit cup. Then what to my bloodshot eyes should appear but a fat little feller and a bunch of dang deer. They was faster than any I'd seen in this state, but I reckon I could have dropped 5 of the 8. Like a pack of wild hogs up the holler they came, and he called them a bunch of foreign sounding names. There was Dasher and Donder and something like Comet, and some sounded like noises that you'd make when you vomit. Well, he brought them in hard, slinging gravel and rocks, and that old sled knocked my pickup truck right off the blocks. I was getting a little tired of all this foolishness at night. I didn't know who he was, but we was a-fixin' to fight. Well, I stood in the shadows as still as a mouse, and I was ready to drop kick him if he come in my house. Well, he strolled right on in like he didn't even care, like a Jenny Craig reject with a beard and white hair. But then I saw he was a totin' sack, and they was pretty bows and ribbons a-poking out the back. And that jolly grin, well, it made me take a pause, and then I realized this was Santa Claus. I felt 5 years old. My whole body was a tingle. This is better than NASCAR. This was Kris Kringle. Well, I hunkered down just as quiet as I was able, and I stepped in some dog poop that Roscoe left by the table. Well, he started leaving gifts under our Christmas wreath. They was stretch pants for Ma, and for Granddad, false teeth. Then a passel of goodies he just strung across the floor. Then he hitched up his poke and he just went right out the door. He crawled back up in that old red sleigh, and like Superman he hollered, "Up, up and away!" Well, he dodged our antenna, then he flew out of sight, and he was saying Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. I couldn't believe this great sight I'd just seen, and I still ain't real sure just what it might mean. But one thing I'm sure that I will always remember: don't shoot no deer towards the end of December. Thank y'all and Merry Christmas.